Hi, I'm Wes Porter. I'm an Extension, Irrigation, and Precision Ag Specialist here at the University of Georgia. I'm an Ag Engineer in the Crop and Soil Sciences Department. And so I kind of cover our extension needs for, like I said, irrigation throughout the state, mainly on our row crops, but all crops within the state, and some machinery systems of precision ag work. We're working currently on planter research, UAVs, and some other stuff in that area. In Georgia, we've got approximately 60% of our acreage of peanuts under irrigation, so we know that it's really important to make sure that we schedule irrigation well on those, make sure that we're using a good sound method. So us as researchers at University of Georgia and the USDA ARS Peanut Lab in Dawson have worked hard to make sure we provided tools for our producers out there to do that with. And some of those tools that our producers commonly use, or we do have the UGA checkbook method, which I've worked to refine over the past couple of years, and I'm testing that method currently. There's one that's currently published in our production guides and updates that a lot of our producers use. A lot of our producers and consultants also use the USDA ARS Irrigator Pro, and they use either the soil temperature or the sensor method on that. And then on top of that, there's also a software that was developed as a joint effort out of Florida, Georgia, and a couple other states, which is called Peanut Farm, and that's the soil water balance method. So I think a lot of our producers throughout the state kind of use those methods. They understand the value of actually using scheduling methods and making sure that we get the water to those crops at critical times. And one thing we have to look at, we do get a lot of rainfall in the state of Georgia, but there are times that we go a couple of weeks or more without rainfall that we actually see drought periods on our really sandy soils. So we got to make sure that we well time those irrigation events, to make sure we maximize our yields at those points. So here at the Midville station, we're doing some research that we're looking at planter work on peanuts, and so specifically what we're looking at is depth and downforce effects on emergence rates and yields of that crop. So we know that we have a hard time getting a crop stand sometimes on peanuts just due to seed quality and other issues. And so we're looking if we can actually get or do a better job with our planter at the beginning of the season and get recommendations developed for where that planter needs to be set for particular soil type, for particular soil moisture. Then we can help maximize our emergence early in the season. So that's some of the research that we've done here at Midville, as we've planted peanuts at 3 different depths and 3 different downforce rates, and then we've came back at 1, 2, and 3 weeks after planting, checked emergence, and then we'll check yield at the end of the year. We did that study here last year, and we're doing it again this year, and we're showing that we're actually getting good results out of that so that we can start correlating those planter settings back and teaching our producers about the importance of the planter setting and its effects on emergence and yield at the end of the year. So our farmers in the state of Georgia are very sustainable. When we look at peanut production, the crop itself can be considered a sustainable crop. And so when we look at a lot of the practices that we use and implement on this crop during production, we can consider those under a sustainable area. I focus a lot in precision agriculture, and we can team those terms together of precision ag and sustainable. And what that means is better utilizing our resources that we have, basically. And so we're looking at our production practices, seeing where we can make changes to use less inputs, to be more efficient with those inputs. And so a couple examples of that are irrigation. Talked about that earlier here, that how we can use different methods and tools and technologies that are out there to be more water use efficient. That means that we are being more sustainable with our irrigation that we're applying. And also be more sustainable when we produce the crop by implementing any other technologies or any tools that are out there for that production practices. We do a very good job in the state of Georgia on doing that. When we look at how we produce our peanuts, there's very little waste that is there, and we target basically what we need when we apply any of our inputs to that crop, and use knowledge that's provided through UGA, USDA ARS, some of the crop scouts and stuff in our state to make sure that we're doing the best that we can when producing that crop.